and Dan Campbell talked about this in the post-game press conference, it might be Miles Frazier along with Tate Ratledge, 2 rookies they drafted this year. We know Tate Ratledge has been steadily improving. Miles Frazier got a look today or yesterday, and he had a couple penalties, kind of getting used to the speed of the NFL, Jared Goff's cadences. He had a couple those rookie moments, but looked pretty good, I'll say. And Dan kind of said, hey, we want to get him some reps. That's kind of why we were throwing him out there with Tristan Colon. We want to get him reps, and you're trying to find a balance.
So he was asked about that?
Yeah, he told him he just wanted to get him some playing time. He's like,
what a big game to be like, let's just get you some reps.
We want to get him reps. And that means, you know what that means, though? They trust him because he's looked pretty good in practice. They're like, this guy's, he looks good.
The only negatives I could say yesterday were those false starts. I know that's a big deal, but that's honestly, that's the only negative. It felt like he played well.
Yeah. No, I mean,
for a rookie.
The reps, again, I got to go back and watch Miles Frazier reps, but just based on what I saw, pass blocking, very solid. Yep. I know Xavier just put in there, Frazier pass block PFF was 80. I don't know if that's true. And
PFF grades aren't out yet.
Yeah, I don't know where
this happens. This happens every time there's a game, dude. There are these fake PFF grades that get put out there. I don't know. And then like we posted them one time. They got put out like the very next morning. We posted them. And then like we were like, this player had the worst. These 3 players were the worst graded. And then 3 hours later, it came out and they were like not even close to the worst graded. And it was like, who the players were? It was like Penei Sewell and like legit like people who cover their team put those out. And we just took it from them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm nervous to.
I don't know if maybe writers get it before. I don't know.
But they were wrong. The people who had them were wrong last time. They were wrong.
I would assume. I would say based on the eye test, he'll have I think he'll have a pretty decent. I don't know if the penalties factor into grades, but he'll have a pretty good one. I mean, they ran Jahmyr Gibbs when they had a second or first. I think it was first rushing touchdown. They ran right behind Miles Frazier. They ran right behind him.
Him and Taylor. Yeah.
Miles Frazier played multiple positions in college. He started at left tackle. He started at right tackle. He started at left guard. He started at right guard. I think he played a lot of. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played most of his snaps at left guard. If it's right guard, I'm even more impressed. He played left guard, but I think he played left guard mainly. Could be wrong on that. I'd have to double check that, but he looked like he belonged, and he looked very good. So they might have something in Miles Frazier. I know we joked about it. It's like if Miles Frazier is just like a game-breaking rookie, you might be better. This offensive line might be good.
They might actually.
But he actually did look pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. And if they're throwing him in the fire right now, maybe he gets more playing time down the stretch. Dude, that might be a guy like
the Dallas Cowboys in primetime football, a winner go home game essentially for your franchise. For them to trust Miles Frazier already to be like, hey, let's just get you these reps. Like I think that's very telling. That shows that they really think he can play. And as a rookie, like obviously they trust Tate, and Tate's had his up and downs this season. But the fact that Miles went in there, and he did have a couple, hiccups when it comes to penalties and things. But like again, like for them to run the ball right behind him and Taylor on his first possession is in the NFL, I think that's as well like telling. Like if you have a rookie guard in there for the first time in week 13 or week 14, you're probably like, hey, let's run it behind Penei Sewell and Tate, the 2 guys that have been there all year. And they said, nope, we're going to run it right behind Miles Frazier. And what did they do? They ran it right behind Miles Frazier. And what happened? Got a touchdown. So I want to go back and see. I do want to see grades. I want to see how he played. But I just think it's telling to see the fact that they trust him already. Because like this year, you saw that Christian Mahogany is your starting left guard, essentially. They did that with Christian Mahogany last year. Now, my only question is, how does that fit into this offense? Because you do have now at this point, if Christian Mahogany comes back this season, you have Christian at left, you have Tate at right. Where does Miles Frazier fall, right? Like, do they move Tate to center? Probably not. I would think there's a really low % chance they do that. But then you have that third guy. Like, where do you throw him? If he's that good, like, what if Miles Frazier is that good? And he's like, yeah, you got to have him on the football field. And he ends up getting there.
I'd be curious what they see him at long term. Like, I wonder what Hank Fraley would say about that.
Tackle.
Like, what do you think his position? What does he look more natural at? He's big. He's 6'6", He's long. He's athletic. You know, he played some tackle. I don't know if you maybe he could play. I don't know. Maybe they see him as a left guard strictly. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. That's what happens in the NFL, man. You miss some time. Guy comes in, looks better than you. I mean, as much as Christian Mahogany has shown some good things, this year he's been a little up and down. That's the unfortunate part of getting hurt is if Miles Frazier comes in and looks way better than Mahogany, it's like, well, your spot's not guaranteed, my friend. You know, it's like if Miles Frazier looks really good, let's say they go draft a center next year or left tackle, they might be building an offensive line and you might be the odd one out. It just depends what, we'll see more of Miles Frazier this year. But the thing is, you saw Christian Mahogany last year in like 2 games or a game or 2, and he looked really good.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have an opportunity now, Miles Frazier. And I'll tell you what, Miles Frazier doesn't have Frank Ragnow next to him. So, he looked pretty good. So I'd be curious to see moving forward kind of how much he actually is playing because he might be your future guard.
I just want to say this Lions team would win a Super Bowl if Frank wasn't hurt.
Well, he would. Yeah, he would. I mean,
they would win a Super Bowl. This team would be. Yeah,
he's significantly better than Graham Glasgow. I mean,
if the defense plays like they did yesterday, and Frank was there, you would have won. Like this would have been a Super Bowl year.
Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested, or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.